Hey guys, it's Nicole from Chronicles of a Crafter. Welcome back. I just wanted to make some altered paper clips or some hidden paper clips, and there are thousands of videos online on how to do this. I just wanted to show you my version, my measurements, and the items that I'm using to embellish it. I went by Dollar Tree today and I picked up these laser cut butterflies. I already had some. Where are they? Oh, under my phone. I already had some in that little spoolie thing that I showed you in my craft room tour, but for Try It Out Thursdays, I'm gonna go ahead and make some more. This is my prototype. This is the one I've done before. It's totally hidden. You can't see the paper clip inside of there. This I'm considering a large because the measurements that I have for the small is this one, so you can see the difference. So I'm going to be doing my boho butterfly journal tutorial on Fridays, and you know, that's the journal from beginning to end. This way you get the whole thing all the way through in one playlist, so you can always scroll through and find it out, find it that way. But today I'm going to do some altered paper clips to be housed inside that journal. So I'm using what is this, Fabric? What is this? Like, do you know what this is? I'm using Fabric. I've transferred it into my Seker Bell icing piping bottle with the little tiny dispenser. Put my pen back in there, and I'm using some paper clips. Well, nowadays paper clips, I found out, come with this they come with this plastic coating all around it. I guess over the years people have found that non-coated paper clips destroy their papers once it gets past this little clip right here, that little part. So when you pull a paper clip out, it usually like just rips your paper sometimes. But so nowadays they've coated them with plastic. I'm not using those. I'm using the uncoated ones. So that's what that is. And even if you have coated paper clips, what you will find is that with a coated paper clip, this is a smaller version of it, and I'm placing it on here. What you'll find with the coated paper clips is that once you place your smaller piece on top of it, yes, it's still hidden, but the coated one leaves this gap right here. So let me see if I can help you see that. I don't know. But no matter how hard I push down that paper clip onto the, push down the paper onto the paper clip, it still has this this little gap between the small paper and the larger paper. Whether you saw that or not, trust me, it's there. So what I've done was I've taken my coated paper clips, I held it with my little tweezers for painting, and you can see the edges there are charred. I just burnt off the plastic, and it does smell a little bit, so maybe I'm, you know, dispersing emissions into the air. I'm sorry, global warming, but I had to get that plastic off of there because I did not have any small uncoated paper clips. So, but I do have a lot of big ones, so that's why I've made these bigger hidden paper clip embellishments. So for this small measurement, I'm going to give you what the measurements are that I'm using, and I also rounded the corners only on the top piece. The bottom piece, what I've done was I've used my little, it's not little at all, it's huge. This is a punch, and it gives that pretty design. And when you do, so it comes in two sizes, so in one punch you can do the full punch with the full design, or you can do the half punch, which is half of the design. And that's how I got this, and that's how I got this, with just the half punch. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So for the small hidden paper clip, again, I'm using an uncoated paper clip that I've removed the coating from. You just cut the paper to the size that you want. So for my small, I'm using a 2 by 4 1/4. So I'll show you how I came up with that. So it's 2 inches from side to side, and 4 1/4 when you open it up, or it'll already be open. And then you score it in half. So 4.5 inches that way. All right, so let's find my little piece. The little piece, the top piece, the one that goes on top of the larger piece, is 1 1/4 by 2.5. So 1 1/4 by 2.5. Okay, so, and that's a rough estimate. You can go bigger, smaller. Just know that this is the smaller measurements that I'm giving you. I just picked up the coated paper clip. Get that out of here. So that's gonna go on here. Okay, and in the process, you go through and you punch your hole before you add your paper clip, and you can see, like, you just line it up inside of there. I'm gonna do a total one, a complete one from beginning to end, and show you anyway. So then you take your smaller piece. Okay, you're gonna push this paper clip all the way down, take your smaller piece and apply it over the top piece, and make sure that the paper clip is totally hidden and can't be seen on either side. That's when you remove the smaller piece on top, add a bunch of glue, put the smaller piece back on top of it, and you're done. And you can leave it just like this. But what I've done is I've taken a little bit of some embellishments and added on here. This is a laser cut. It looks like chipboard. I got it at Dollar Tree. Here, I'll show you what this looks like. So these are cute little butterflies. Okay, and I think they will fit perfectly, yeah, perfectly on the larger of the two sizes. Here's another little butterfly. I think they're adorable. And you can paint these or leave them wood colored. If you flip it on the other side, it looks a little bit, you can see more of the laser burn in the cuts. So it looks a little bit more charred or blackened on one side versus the other. So this would be the side that you would want to use versus the side that looks a little bit charred. Or you cannot use this at all. I mean, if you're unable to find these at Dollar Tree or at any of your craft stores, then this is not any information that you'll be valued. Anyway, let's get started. So yeah, this is my box of paper clips. They're all coated, so I had to burn off the coats, the plastic coating off of there. All right, so using the large paper clip sizes, I'll show you what I have for that. The top piece, I'm doing it in this single-sided polka dot cardstock, and the bottom piece I'm going to do in this pretty butterfly cardstock. And the butterflies go in, some go, you know, various directions, so there's no top or bottom really, and that works, and it's still a single-sided piece of paper. So for the top piece of the larger paper clip, it's 2 inches by 3 1/4 or 3 1/2, sorry. And roughly 2 inches is, you know, it's not optional, but it's an estimation. So if you can't get 2 inches out of your scraps, that's fine. Don't break the bank trying to get exactly 2 inches. Right now I have 1 7/8. Okay, it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm not really worried about it, the exact measurements of it. So top one, 2 inches by 3 1/2. I will get my 3 1/2 just about right, because that's what folds over the paper. That's what folds over the top. And you can use a scoreboard or not. It doesn't really matter. Here, I'll get my scoreboard. My little mini scoreboard, just to show you. 3 1/2. I folded it perfectly right on the half mark. Okay, so that's where you would score. Okay, and then cut that off. And it's 1 7/8, like I said. I'm not worried about it. Let's find a, okay, I'll use these scissors, and nope, that scissor is practically dull. Okay, I used that one earlier to open up a a box that I received from none other than Crafter's Companion. So, okay, there's my top piece. I'm just gonna take a smidgen off. That's inside that score line there. That's the problem with scoring your paper. You get like a little, you know, indentation. So it's up to you if you want to keep it or not. That's fine. So I've rounded my corners, and you can, depending on your corner rounder, you can fold your paper first and then round your corners, or you can round your corners prior to folding it. So I'm just using my small corner rounder, which is about 4 millimeters. Okay, now I'm going to take it back to my bone folder to get my halfway mark. Three and a half would be, where is it? Anyway, 3.5 would be one and 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it there. I just know that. I don't know why I know that, but anyway, half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. Yeah, 1 3/4. So that's what I've done there. I've scored it at 1 3/4, and it's a perfect halfway fold. All right, put this away for now because we will need it again when we do the larger piece. So there's really nothing to do to this other than embellish it after you've assembled the entire paper clip. So I'm just going to set that aside. Then I'm going to take my butterfly paper that I'm going to measure at 2.5 by 6. So here's my 6 mark, right about there. Yep, that one. So I'm just going to pencil mark it in. Yep, and by 2, right? So I'm going to, because I already have a cut here, I'm going to try to utilize that cut, and it's not quite 6, so let's skip that. I'll do it from this side and get my 2 inches. So right here I'm just measuring 1, 2, and marking it. And I will go ahead and cut this down at the 6 side first because I'm using my small guillotine. So that's what I was talking about. I was trying to get it so that I can continue that cut, but it doesn't matter. I'll just, you know, use that some other way. And now I'm going to cut it down by 2. Or, yeah, 2. Okay, so now I have a 2 by 6.5, 2.5 by 6, sorry. No. Yeah, it was supposed to be 2.5 by 6. So now I have this, which is the same size, and it's not going to work, so I need to cut another piece. It's supposed to be 2.5 by 6. All right, so 2.5. This is it. This is perfectly it. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing to cut. However, I do have that little piece right there, so I'm going to cut it down. So now it won't be it won't be by 6, it'll be by 5 7/8, and that's okay. All right, trust me, it's going to be okay. These numbers and measurements are just estimates. They're just, you know, a guide to go by. You don't have to go by that guide. I'm not going around the corners of the large one because I'm going to run it through my, well, I'm going to run it through my this pattern paper cutter. What is this? I don't even know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna run it through here, and I got that. Okay, so that's that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to the opposite side. Now, depending on the what is this? A paper punch. Depending on the paper punch that you have, you may be able to score it in half and then punch both of them at the same time. So let's just keep that in mind. And it also makes a lot of mess. So you end up with a ton of confetti down here when you're done punching. So just also keep those 2 things in mind. And I'm just lining it up centrally in hopes that I get the same thing on both sides. See that? And then I'm going to take it back to my scoreboard. I'm going to score it in half, considering this would have been 6, but it's actually not. Where is my, score tool is right here. I'm going to take this back to my scoreboard and score it. It's now 5 1/2 inch, so half of 5 would be 2 1/2, half of 5 1/2 would be 2 3/4. So I'm going to score it right around 2 7/8 because it's a little past 2 1/2. It's a little past 2 1/2. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and fold that on the score line. Okay, and you're going to take your top piece, place it on there. Hopefully it sets really well. And it's probably best to do them both at the same time. This way you get your pattern lined up almost perfectly. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. I'm going to take one of my larger paper clips, place that on there. But to tell you the truth, guys, once you place this into your journal, they won't be on the same side of the paper. So you won't even see that they don't line up, you know, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to take my paper clip, place it on there, take my glue, and I'm going to just glue all the way around wherever that paper clip may be, or it's sitting. Take that little piece off and make sure your paper clip is straight. And I'm going to glue all around the paper clip, inside and outside of it. Oh, don't move, paper clips, stay still. Okay, and then I'm going to take my smaller piece and place it right on top. And do the same thing to the other side. Just try to get it central. You know, it's not the end of the world if it's off to one side or not, but using Fabrifix glue does give it enough time to, you know, move around so you can get it where you need it. And I'm going to fold that over. Okay. And then I'm going to just take one of my little clips here just to hold it in place so that until it dries, and I'm going to set this aside until then. Let's do another one. Let's see. I only pulled out this paper. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the polka dots in the larger measurements and the butterfly in the smaller measurements. And let's see what that looks like. This way the butterfly will be on top. And this is the mess that it makes when you do that border punch. Okay. So for the larger numbers, I'm going to do a large hidden paper clip, and the bottom piece is 2 1/2 by 6. So this paper is already at 6. I'm just going to go ahead and mark the 2 mark. So this is 6. Here's my 2 mark right there, and use my little guillotine here. You know what? There are measurements on the guillotine. Like, why am I struggling with the, why am I marking it all over the place? So basically 2 1/2. Here we go. 2 1/2. Boom. That's it. Alright. And it's already 6. I am going to use my border punch after I score it so that I can punch both sides at the same time, because I think this punch is pretty strong. I think it can do both papers, you know, front, top and bottom at the same time. 6, so 3. Okay, I'm going to fold this over like so. Make sure I get a nice good crease on it. And I'm going to run it both sides through this border punch. And you can flip it over, see if you got it where you want it. So basically it will look like that. And but it's hard to punch. So once you get it lined up where you want it, I'm going to try to flip it back over and punch it this way, because it is pretty hard to punch, and now it's stuck, right? So I gotta bang it to loosen. What a disaster, folks. So I just gotta push those little pieces back out, because it went through 2 pieces of cardstock. There we go. And this is what you get. Isn't that pretty? And they line up this time because I scored it first. All right, and then I'm going to take my my scrap here. Did I just do that exactly the same way? I just made the exact same. I did. I mean, there's no excuse for my behavior. I just made the exact same thing, even though I said I was going to make one opposite. Well, okay, I guess I'm making 2 of the same, and then I'll do one the opposite. Alright, so the top piece is 2 inches by 3 inches, so let's see, here we'll get 2 by 3, okay, yep. Alright, so I'm bringing back in my guillotine. I love this little thing, it's so convenient. And I'll rotate it this way, 3 inches by 2 inches. I'll use this side because it's straighter, and then I'm going to round my corners. And then I'm going to score it right at the, right at the halfway mark. So it's 3 inches, 1.5. Fold it over. Perfect. Let's get some crisp score lines on that. I'm going to place this inside of here. I'm going to get my paper clip. Let's just see something. See, this paper clip is a bit large. I'm going to use the smaller paper clip. And place this over the top here. Get a lot of glue onto it. Just in the area of the paper clip all around. And you don't want to go too far, because once you put on this top piece, you will then be able to see like where the glue would go based on your central placement of that paper, and then you can go in with some more glue, okay? But you don't want to go down too far, because then you'll have glue way below the paper. Alright, and I'm just going to hold that there for a moment and flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. I'm going to set this aside, let it dry with a little craft clip here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my other one just so I can show you how I embellish it. So this was the first one that we did. Okay, I'm going to take my little butterfly here, add some glue to the side that I want showing. So again, there's 2 sides to it. You really can't tell. And if you wanted to paint these or ink these or you know, dye them, or you know, just get a different hue on it, you can do that prior to. And I believe like chipboard, it'll take color pretty well. Just want to make sure you get the glue on your edges, and then do not fall. I'm just going to apply this like so, and then I'm going to hold this down so that it dries. I don't want to cover up too much of the polka dot because it does coordinate well with the butterfly. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and place my clip back on there. And I'll grab another clip and place it on the other side just to hold that down so it'll dry. Okay, so that's it, guys. I mean, you can do this in your sleep if you like. Let me just finish off my last one, the little tiny one that I made. Yeah, okay. Let me just finish this one off. And then I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing. Okay. And grab a pen and put that on there so it'll dry. Okay. So yeah, once you clip this into your book, and here, let me show you with the one that I finished. This is my sample junk journaling book. Look where I stuck this disaster decoupage that I did the other day. I stuck it in this book. That was for me to learn a lesson, is why I stuck it in there. So let's say I want to include this picture. I was going to use this in my my 2022 collage challenge a few days ago. This looks very medieval to me, or you know, of medieval times. But I couldn't come up with a storyline around it, so let's just say you want to clip this in and place it right here. I'll fold it in half because it is large. And then I'll go ahead and work on these others. So here are the ones that I'm holding together. They are pretty much dry, guys. Like, I just used a little bit of fabric fix and these are ready to go. I glued on the little embellishment, little butterfly embellishment on most of them. So just holding it together with this little craft clip. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, here's another one that I did. Craft clip. Boom. And this one, I took this little tiny one and placed a little bumblebee charm on there. Now this one's a little heavy. Once you have to glue the charm, and you know, you got the paper clip in there, so it's a bit heavy, but it does look cute. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'll just clip that one on the side here. Oh yeah, that fits snug as a bug, literally. So there you have it. All right, and I'll show you the other side. Okay. So that's what a hidden paper clip is. I'm sure you guys have seen a tutorial or two on how it's done. I just had these laser cut embellishments that I wanted to add to my projects because I'm doing that boho butterfly journal, and I thought those would make a great little addition in the form of a hidden paper clip. All right, so let me set this aside and show you all of them now that they are dry. And I know I said I was going to make one opposite. I will eventually, but yeah, I'm a little disappointed in myself. Like, why did I cut them exactly the same, even though I said I was going to make them opposite? And there's the prototype, and here's my little mini. So I hope you guys got a little bit of value here. I'm sure you can look at anybody's video on YouTube and know how to make a hidden paper clip. You know, little cutie. But here, I'm just gonna zoom in for you. Ooh. All right, and those are my hidden paper clips, and I hope you guys liked it. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop shaking this camera, and I will talk to you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.